Wherever there are people, there are going to be affairs. I've had a person saying, you know what, I married this woman, but I am very certain my soulmate is another person and I know her. Every time I meet her, I feel safer than I am with my wife. Another woman comes in with a big bump, and pastor likes big bumps, but his wife has no bumps. There's a pastor's wife driver, I know. They ended up doing something. Pastor said, you are married and you're grown up, you start drawing boundaries.
Hello, you're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Beatrice Chimpi and thank you for joining us. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you're old, you're welcome once again. And today on this show, once again, if you've been watching these episodes, we started off some time back. This is the third, and we are here again with our sex therapist, Brian Semand, to discuss a very big topic. I'm a church girl. I've grown up in church. My background is church. And so I've known so much about, or heard so much about affairs in church. I want our guest today to discuss it, and to discuss it, it is Brian Semanda. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Brian Semanda is my name. I'm a sex therapist, I'm a wellness coach, and I'm also an NLP practitioner. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. We deal with relationship psychology and all that. So I'm happy to be here about your topic today, affairs. It's a broad one. What's up with the affairs?
Brian, church or outside church, there are a lot of affairs going on. One of the things that caught my attention when I was reading about affairs was not the other common one we know. In church, there is something that is going on called emotional affairs. What is it? Or we start with what are affairs, and then we go to what are emotional affairs.
When there are people involved, wherever there are people, there are going to be affairs. Wherever there are people, there are going to be energies flowing. And then, you see, misunderstanding the code is the problem. And not understanding your responsibility as a person is a problem. So if we are in a church, for example, pastor's wife is so rude to everyone. But also there's a worship leader who is very nice. And pastor looks at her and thinks like, I think I made a mistake. And then she's good, nice to everyone. The affair will start from there. Before you know it, they start eating together. Before you know it, stuff is happening. Wherever there are people, more than one, expect affairs to move on, because we have different energies. Some people actually believe I am married to another person, but my soulmate is elsewhere.
Okay.
I've had a person saying, you know what, I married this woman, but I am very certain my soulmate is another person and I know her. Every time I meet her, I feel safer than I am with my wife. Like I feel easy to talk to her about anything than my wife.
Is it called for, like, is it even necessary? Should we are married for better, for worse. What are some of the causes of these affairs?
Is it, like I said, wherever there are people, and we have not drawn boundaries. If you're a pastor, why are you counseling women without your pastor or your wife? Boundaries.
Female, boundaries.
If you're a pastor, why do you do counseling? You see, if you're not a very serious person when it comes to, I'm a therapist, people come and cry from there, and they end up wanting to even hug you. So if you're a pastor, a sister brings an issue that involves tearing. Are you going to, she starts sobbing in your chest, holding you. It's supposed to be, why are you doing that kind of counseling alone in your pastor's office? Affair will start. There's a story. There's a girl who told me, you know, I went to this pastor because we had a problem. My wife, sorry, my husband said my mindfully is too big. I pull big things, and that was a situation for their separation. It was too bad. This is what the girl told me. But when I went to the pastor, pastor told me, the pastor was also crooked. Pastor's like, wow, that's nice, they must be big. Can I see? And she was like, I looked at my pastor, tell me, can I say? Pastor was beginning section now. And I started lying to her. Tukwata mafuta. Siga kwa aja kuzagala. Story by story. Every time this pastor saw her, told her a word. The girl started feeling sexually uncomfortable with her pastor. But pastor started actually feeling towards her. Where the story ended, I don't want to tell you. Pastor asked, can I see? I feel like I want to eat big for this. My wife doesn't have. I always desired. Maybe God wanted me to see this. And women are gullible. There's a way a man of God will say something and you feel like he's right. God maybe meant that I say him because he wants them. My leader. Affairs begin from that simple stuff. You see, when you are a man of God, people respect you. There's another guy looking at me, the pastor told me I have a demon. But he has to pray for me to get it out. So he started fingering on me. But when I come, the demon will come out. But pastor was just using his own office to do this. Affairs are bound to happen because we have different energies. Like I said earlier, I will walk to you and I smell good. And you're like, oh, your mind creates, oh, it smells good. You start feeling emotionally attached to me because of how I smell. Another woman comes in with a big bum, and pastor likes big bums, but his wife has no bums. There are pastors who also have dreams. They end up, you know what? I wanted to marry a sassy girl. But God told me to marry a woman that I don't think is really mine. So drawing boundaries must be key to avoid these affairs. Also, affairs will come in because one of the partners is not doing what they have to do. There's a driver. There's a pastor's wife driver, I know. They ended up doing something. Pastor Silam Chisibo. Nakwana. Mommy is in ovulation period. Even before the nakwana, the things are not that good. Pastor can even take a month nga mwadeko gumu. Ali mukusabira abantu ali kuchacha siba kuchacha akoma ota wanga mukaga kusa kumeno genda ku radio. Then the madam feels like they are lonely. Driver vera kuvuga boss. Lumu nechibao. Ate buli wokole ekintu omuntu ali under you will never stop. Driver ya changanya jala past. So affairs are going to happen because we are choosing boundaries. You see, there's something I used to do in my work line. I used to do waxing. I used to take care of this properly. But at a certain point, I got mine. I was like, I won't wax again. Because by nature of me, my work, you look at me and I'm attractive. I'll come and look at you and you're attractive. But then my wife at home is being funny. That's where the affair will start. So when you are married and you're grown up, you start drawing boundaries. You can actually choose to end certain relationship because of that. You're a choir leader, a choir master. What makes you practice with the girls late in the evening? And then others start leaving and you stay with another one.
There's a specific one who is always...
Because you see, men are moved by proximity. The more I stay with you, the more you
start appreciating certain things about.
Let me even go away from church. Home, maids. You're very busy. The maid is serving your husband every day. Kneading. The presence of a maid is too much in your husband, more than you. He's a man. As she leaves after giving him tea, she has a cabina, kali innocent. Or to very tutu. Before you know the affairs are beginning. They are bound to happen. Self-discipline is the point. Self-discipline is the point. Because if you are a church person or a married person, commitment is a choice.
True.
Faithfulness is a choice.
It's known that everything is good.
There's always going to be a beautiful person. Always. And the pastor is always green and far away. There's a guy who told me, Brian, one worship. He was a junior pastor. Brian ngabuli chimwe kumwana we chatukirira. Ngabuli chimwe chatukirira ngatwe kwana. Junior pastor married. Niba gero tuka kumwana oli. Na wanzo wafu. I've wasted my sin. Affairs began because of proximity. Let's draw boundaries. They are going to happen. Among us, there will be. Even in Jesus' time, there were affairs. There were affairs in Abraham's time. Maturity comes in when you know I'm a married man.
I'm a married woman.
I'm a married woman. Okay. If the cameraman for my studio is too available for me, I have to discipline myself and you know what? I'll not cross that line. That's how we deal with affairs. Affairs are bound to happen. They will always happen. They're among us, but we choose decisions. Why would I come to shoot a show with you at night if we're going to talk about sex? Why? Why would you want me to shoot with you at night?
You even shoot in a lodge.
Why would you want me to come and do this at night? Far away from your home. We're talking about sex. After here, we have to probably drive far away from here together. To drop you, you drop me. Before you know it, we're talking about sex. That's the problem. Discipline. And discipline is where we have to go to. You are a woman. You have a body. We can be talking about sex and your husband has not touched you for a week or a month. He has been traveling. So your body is boiling. If you're not disciplined, you'll be like, they can put Brian, you know, to them to shooting air all week. So we are supposed to understand that joy is about kwan, jump is about kwan. But if you're married, discipline. There are things that are pulling you. There's a man who has more money than your husband. He's cuter than your husband. He's pursuing you. It will never stop. Discipline.
Discipline. Brian, I myself, I drive my marriage on my vows. Some people don't respect those vows. I don't know why I take those vows. Every time they recon in my ears. With my body, I honor you. Imagine yourself undressing before another man. Like, how does it feel? Like you're undressing before another man, or you're undressing another woman and your wife is home. Then afterwards you have to go back home and look at this person. How honorable is that?
So like I said, your belief patterns are your belief patterns. I've had a woman who cheated because her husband cheated. There's a guy, I had confirmation, he cheated. He has a baby. Now I'm getting this. Every time you do an affair because you're paying up, trouble. You'll always end up feeling used. The guy was young. They had the whatever sex. He said, Brian, I feel empty. I feel much more empty. I even got pregnant by this boy. I had to abort. I felt
sin after sin. I
felt more empty because you're paying up. If they've kukwanad you and you feel like stripped, please do. But if it's about revenge, don't do it. Because every time you revenge for in your body, you're the one sinning. You're the one paying a bigger price. For him, he went to enjoy. You went to pay. And paying always comes along with much worse situations. So my idea is affairs are bound to happen. No one is exempt. Bishop, pastor, with discipline. There's a guy. I used to work with him at one point, and he told me every woman wants what another woman
has.
Every woman wants what another woman has. There's a woman who has a cuter husband than yours, but also thinks yours is better. Every woman wants what another woman has.
That is lack of satisfaction. Like,
so this bishop told me, she's a married woman. But she keeps on asking me, she has constantly said, Bishop, I knew you were mine. I knew you were mine. That she's married also. Moving on from that. If you want to deal with affairs, don't spiritualize matters. You know what spiritualizing matters are? You have a feeling for someone, you start casting a demon. No, don't cast a demon.
Be practical.
Be practical. Why are you meeting her? You're meeting her in the country. You say, pray. There's a friend of mine who told me, there's a guy I had a crush on. But this man, I hope he also realized. Then he starts holding hands for me. Every evening he would say, let's come and pray. My spirit is telling me to pray for you. Sister used to tell me, we would finish prayer and I am wet. We'll hold hands. The guy is praying, God, I pray. But every time he speaks a word that I feel like I'm with him.
Brian, in church, I've grown. You meet a man, you get married. Like there's this fantasy, people are out, like they're living on another moon. Thinking that when I get married to Dennis, there will never be any other man I'll ever be attracted to. If I marry Beatrice, she's the most beautiful woman. There will never be another woman I'll see and I get attracted to. So, have you ever seen mbwayo ewakane nga bulijjo tojita lwogitaddeyo nanegenda ng'emagala weti. So rafunye omuntu ono gwali attracted to n'apaala bupaazi, like self-control, like you've said, boundaries, knowing that he may never be enough, but he is the one that you chose, or she may never be enough, but she's the one that you chose.
You see, I went to be fair with you. One time, this gentleman comes and tells me, Brian, from the day I got married, I had never even had any sexual desire for another person. But the devil is such a liar that there's this one specific time I fought with my wife. My ex shows up. I fought with my wife. My ex shows up at office. Like, you know what, I had a dream that you're hugging me. And then the guy looked at her and said, man, Brian, I was so lonely. I was feeling so pain. But I also wanted to hug her. We hugged. One thing led to another. We had sex in my office. But from that day, I never look at my wife as my wife anymore. Yeah. Every time I'm having sex, I remember my ex's sex. That's why the affair started. Before you know it, the other one gets pregnant. Affairs are bound to happen, but I told you, they're not exempting a spiritual leader. We have spiritual leaders who have gone pray of that. We have to also accept that we have wrong places we play also. Like I said earlier, playing your part in a marriage will suffice. Pastor ali ku church baba bamwetala gomumma kasoro
obwana bwa worship team
for you tonkwata ko nawe wanyize is at church, passions are dying. You know lately the worst place to go to if you're struggling with pornography is church.
Yeah,
people wear cleavage.
Wow, talk about dressing.
Out.
Yeah,
meanwhile alabe ebintu ebyo watunule nkwawa ze wakazi ziddugala zago alabe nkwawa ezirikiri. So the idea is marriages and affairs, we are failing to understand that. Am I playing my part? When was the last time you sent a beautiful love message to your husband? It's the girl who's doing that every day. Pastor, thank you for loving us. You're a good man. God bless you, Pastor.
The hug you gave me yesterday,
Pastor, every time you touch me, I feel anointed. Your anointing is working.
Fire.
Which kind of man are you? You're not even man enough. Because he did something small. So you told him he's not man enough. Another girl is telling me, God, thank you for Pastor. There's a group of women I was dealing with. We were talking about sex one time. And I shared how to deal with a man with a small dick. Okay? One woman stood up in the ground and said, that is my husband. Very small like this. It comes very quick. I wonder which kind of money this is. These men used to come to pick their wives after the sessions.
Everyone wanted to see.
So everyone was looking at the small dick. So while you're doing that, women are bitches. The other woman is just to tell him, Pastor, you know what, my husband has a very big thing, it's hurting. You know, in counseling sessions, there's a lot of things are happening. Counseling sessions. Pastor imagines, I have an opportunity. My wife told me my thing is small. This one, I think, wants a small thing. And there's nothing dangerous like a man that has not been given an assurance at home. Yeah. Whenever you give a man a downing spirit, what kind of man enough? He will look for assurance somewhere else. The same thing with the wife. Yeah. You never said beautiful words. There's a woman who said, Brian, my husband has never told me I love you. He has never. I'm like, okay, how did you marry? From the wedding day, that's the thing. That's the last vow I had. The word love. We are 15 years married. Even when I say I love you, he says thank you.
He blue ticks.
I love you, he says thank you. He would never say I love you. I feel bad. Now if she finds another guy telling her I love you, affair. No one is exempt. We just need to understand that you have your dreams. your husband has your dreams. I have my dreams, my wife has her dreams. She left most of these dreams to come with me. I must know that there are people who are fitting in the dreams she had that are always pursuing her.
True.
But she chose. So this is where we call it, affairs are going to be there as long as we don't understand that humanity, we don't want what we want. You know, nobody wants what they have. Everyone wants something else. You want something else. I want something else. But accepting that, okay, this is what I chose. Let me agree to this and stay focused. Affairs are going to be there. Do you know why you have affairs? There's something you want. Let me tell you, no man can satisfy the needs of one woman. If he satisfies you sexually, he may not be there emotionally. If he does emotionally, financially,
True.
If he's doing both of those, his body might not be the one you want. And that guy won't be. The same thing, no woman will satisfy the desires of a man. You could be beautiful, but not good in bed. You could be good in bed, but a bad cook. You can be a very good girl in bed. Nenga can't even walk with you. There's a guy who told me, Brian, never sleep with your maid. My maid, she is an ugly person. I even feel ashamed. Brian, I'm one woman. That sex is different, special. I feel ashamed every when I look at her. But man, when it's dark, I don't even think about that. You see how it is?
That's
so no woman will satisfy the needs of one man. After knowing that, we come to a common conclusion. We are not perfect. We are in a sinful nature, perfected by love, accepting. You know, we studied the therapy. Means women bring stuff. Brian, the guy who made me come is a e.t.c boy. Me, I had put my leg to do e.t.c on me. My body changed. You know, my first quick wetness. I go to wet. I felt like I was shaking. The guy is on a kagere. From that kagere, the guy started going up here in my. You know how those e.t.c boys.
Yes.
You're doing nails. Why are you okutomukaze bisambi? That's where they ended. That's where they ended.
Brother Kalala. Social media. Is it social media? Technology. Kugambye enensi tujirimu nawo jirimo jiraba. Whether church, whether what, can people put some boundaries on the messages, on the time they're messaging people, on the types of messages? What before we go to explaining, what are emotional affairs?
Emotional affairs is something it's just in the mind. Everyone is emotionally attached to a person they're not here with. As a therapist, there's a girl who told me, Brian, I can never be horny for my husband, but there's a guy I think about and be horny and be wait. And the guy, while my husband is actually on me, I am imagining the other person. That's all. If I don't imagine that person, I'll not have sex.
Why I'm so convinced it's happening in church, because I have evidence that it's happening in church. But because there are some people who fear to go physically, never send brand. They at least come syndicate a message. And people don't have boundaries on both married men. Like you look at someone sending someone's husband or your husband a message and you wonder, like, are they even in their senses? That is the beginning of, I think, also affairs.
There's a girl who believed there's a married man meant for her. But she saw in a dream they will separate. And their separation was near. So she said, let me quit. I'll be there. You know, church is the place where we have a lot of... There's more witchcraft in church than outside.
Yeah. True.
People pray. Separating. So the idea is emotional. Like I told you, all... Maturity is a virtue, but not common in many people. While you're mature, you're like, I can't send Brian a message at night who is married. And more so a message that is, wow, thank you so much, I love your voice, I like your beard. I mean, more so, you can't send that if you're mature.
I'm surprised. How can someone say, let me say, thank you, Brian, for the show, and then I'm like, okay, honey.
These words don't matter anymore. People call themselves babes, Han, on any code. For example, me, I have a friend of mine. She's married. She calls me Han. Even one time I told her, wait, stop calling me Han. But you know what she said? Me, that's what I want to call you. But she's married. And we have never had nothing. We are business partners. But she calls me those names. She's like, wait.
People don't know that also messages speak volumes.
So this is what you need to. For example, I feel offended when someone. Now I work with women. 90% of my clientele are women. You women have issues. You say, "Good morning, darling. Can you please send me this? This and this and this." My response should be what? "Oh, my dear, have a good time. Let me send." If I'm saying, okay, so like, Brian, you're not even responding to my messages. They even call you, "Good morning, darling. How are you, sweetheart? Okay, please send me this." Like, that is natural for them. People changed words. "Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning. Kindly deliver that." And I've never even met her. So affairs are bound to happen. And they're happening, and they're a real thing. Because now, church and the world are together.
Yeah, you can't separate them.
I've seen church people who are on WhatsApp forums that are sharing pornography. So a church person who's not married, they share pornography, but the pastor is busy praying for her. I came from a church that loves hugging at one time. You're struggling with your masturbation, your pornography, and then you're hugging girls. Why are you hugging? Passionately. There's even a prayer. I remember a prayer session one time where they told us people are going through issues. It was a month of love. Hug each other and pray for each other. So I was burning with passions of
your own
sexual
struggles.
desires.
Yeah.
The whole session I was hugging this woman, praying for me, and for her she was very praying. Me, I don't remember. The whole thing I remember, I was horny through the session of prayer. Because you see, we were hugging, praying. That's a misconception.
Yeah.
Stay where you are. Stay in your place.
Stay in your lane.
The problem is you stay in your lane. Another person won't stay in their lane. You're trying to stay in lane with other people's husbands. Another one is busy in your husband's inbox.
Fire.
Don't say fire. That's the problem. You're saying fire, but then there are things you're not doing. You're not sending him lovely messages. You're not sending him stuff he has to say. The only time he hears "darling, good morning" is from another person, not you.
Wow.
So let's do our part.
Our parts.
While you're complaining about your husband not coming back early, or he comes back late, there's a person who is engaging them throughout the night. You chose. If you have a person, say, "Baby, can I take you for a date tonight? Let's go have fun." When you marry, you become useless. Sometimes women. True. Your first principle is marriage, husband, not children. When children come in the picture, you even have a helper at home. You can leave them during the day. Why don't you leave them for 1 hour or two before evening? Because you are focused on the baby. Babies come, everything changes. The romance dies. Pastor come, musumbali ku church, wakali abana uyomba fuka muyomba. Affairs. They are bound to happen. Secretary, the last time you served your husband tea, you keep on telling the house help, "Uncle, daddy mwe chai." Did you have dining? Ajana is having a flask kanaiwamu. Secretary kumulimo. Is there
Juicy over coffee over.
Every time he looks at her going back after. Kazi ansari waka. Gotomu serving, another person is doing the job. So what do you expect? Moto kuoya namu. Goliku busy mbogoba sent. Nama kagafa. Do you expect? And there's a person I told, you know what? When was the last time you sat down with your husband to eat? When I come back, when I'm tired, I have homework with the children. When he comes back, sometimes he comes back earlier than me. Homework with the after homework is done, I'm busted. I eat with the babies while eating. When was the last time you showered together? Najana mufula house boy waka. There's a guy who told me, "Brian, you know what? Sleeping with my maid became easier than my wife." Why? You enter bed, she's asking you questions like your mother. Did you shower? Sniffing you. Did you brush? Every time I'm like, I'm going for an interview. And the maid is ready to receive. You're there, house, as if boss. Did you shower? and Mutekao. Bring you're home.
You've taken the laptop home.
Guy is there rotating around. Now it won't have. I have an email to send. I have a meeting. You're in Zoom. Midnight. Not to call you. And now corporate people. So the affairs are bound to happen unless you choose to do what you have to do in the right time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. That has been wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Those who are going through a hard time having affairs in your marriage, affairs of any sort, you've heard it from our very own Brian. Brian, any words, any last words for our viewers?
As you go out, whatever you should take out, relationship and affairs are bound to happen. Your job is one, stay in your line. And also, understand that whatever you can do, another person can do. Respect each other's boundaries. But as you set these boundaries, remember, you are normal. You're a human being. When they come, instead of you fighting and running away, address them at the beginning stage. Don't let things grow. It starts as a small thing. The maid telling you, Uncle, nawe. You let it be. Before you know anything, she's touching you. When the moment she says, Uncle, nawe, excuse me, don't ever say that again. Stop it at that level. When your driver is busy making pass, when the QTX boy is, excuse me, stop there. Stop there. Be mad. Principle. Kill everything at the beginning.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you've learned something or two. Affairs have been a problem amidst our communities, and so we've learned about so many things: setting boundaries, making principles, killing things before they grow. Thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing, share this video, comment, like, subscribe, and let's grow together. From me to you, till next time, bye bye.